According to the Royal College of Nursing, up to 25% of women are wrongly prescribed antidepressants during menopause, even when their mental health symptoms are caused by hormones, not depression. And that raises a big question. Does menopause cause mental illness? If no one's ever explained how menopause affects your brain, it's no wonder you've been asking things like, "What's wrong with me?" or "Will I ever get better?" That's exactly what we're going to talk about today, because there are at least 15 emotional and mental health symptoms that show up during menopause, and they're often mistaken for mental illness. So what are we going to cover in this video? First, I'll take you through those 15 symptoms, and I'll explain why they can feel so confusing, even frightening at times. Then we'll look at how to tell if what you're feeling might be hormone related, rather than something more serious. And finally, I'll share a few gentle next steps if you want to start feeling a bit more like yourself again, without jumping straight to medication if that doesn't feel right for you. Now, if you've been feeling overwhelmed or wondering what on earth is going on with your mind lately, you're in the right place. It's like your brain's been tuned to the wrong radio station. You're trying to find calm, but everything's fuzzy, anxious or flat. And no one tells you that the dial might have shifted because of hormones. I remember one woman I helped. She told me that she burst into tears whilst using the vacuum cleaner. Not because anything had happened, just because her emotions had become so unpredictable, so fragile, that something that ordinary felt just too much for her. Her doctor prescribed antidepressants, but it wasn't depression, it was hormonal, and no one had ever explained that to her. So if you've been wondering why you're not coping like you used to, why your brain is behaving in the way that it is now, or why you don't feel like yourself anymore, this is what you need to hear next. So let's start with the symptoms that feel like anxiety. So you may be feeling sudden anxiety for no reason at all. You might be in a perfectly normal moment and your heart starts racing or your chest feels tight. Then there's panic attacks, ones that seem to come out of nowhere, even when you're at home doing nothing unusual. Maybe you feel overwhelmed by small tasks, things like replying to an email or loading the washing machine. These things can suddenly feel as though you're climbing a mountain. Then there's irritability or rage, reactions that feel out of proportion, even to you. Things that never used to bother you now just make you snap. There's short attention span and overwhelm. Perhaps you're trying to follow a conversation or make a simple decision and your mind just doesn't cooperate. This isn't you being dramatic. Your nervous system is more sensitive when estrogen drops. So that's 5 symptoms down. Let's keep going. Next, we'll look at the symptoms that feel more like depression. Low mood or sadness, but without any clear cause. Some days just feel so heavy. Then there's loss of interest in things that you used to enjoy. Hobbies, music, people, even the things that you used to get excited about. There's emotional numbness, feeling flat, as though someone's pulled the plug on your emotions, and now there's just nothing. There's social withdrawal, not wanting to see anyone, not having the energy to put on a brave face. There's loss of confidence, questioning your abilities, doubting yourself, even in things that you've done for years. And many women tell me they just don't feel like themselves anymore. That's not weakness. It's a hormonal shift that affects everything from mood to memory to motivation. Now let's move to those ones that affect your thinking. There's brain fog. That cloudy, spacey feeling where your thoughts just don't land in the way that they used to. Perhaps you've had trouble concentrating. You start something and then completely lose your place halfway through. Perhaps you've been feeling mentally slow or forgetful. Perhaps you walk into a room and you can't remember why. Maybe you lose your train of thought mid-sentence. Perhaps you've had trouble sleeping. When sleep goes, everything else gets harder. And finally, tearfulness over everyday things. You might be fine one minute and sobbing the next, just like the woman I helped who cried while she was vacuuming. Sleep, hormones and emotions, they're so tightly connected. So if you're not sleeping well, then your mood and focus will naturally take a hit. So how do you tell if what you're feeling is hormone related or whether it's something more serious? One way is to notice the timing. Do your symptoms fluctuate throughout your cycle, or do they come in waves? Do they seem to ease or return depending on things like sleep, stress, or what stage of menopause you're in? Hormone-related symptoms often come and go, sometimes dramatically, but they're often accompanied by physical changes too, like hot flushes, night sweats, joint pain, or changes in your periods. If what you're feeling is steady, unchanging, and has been going on for a long time with no ups and downs, or if it's affecting your ability to function day to day, then it's time to speak to a doctor. But even then, it's important to make sure that menopause is part of the conversation. None of these symptoms mean you're going mad. They mean your brain is responding to hormonal shifts. And once you understand that, you can stop fighting yourself and start getting the support that you actually need. You might want to start by tracking your symptoms, just jotting down what you notice and when. That can really help. And please, be kind to yourself. This is real. You don't have to figure it all out alone. Now that you've seen just how many emotional and mental symptoms can be linked to menopause, and you've had a chance to really consider the question, does menopause cause mental illness? You might be wondering, what now? What can I actually do to feel more like myself again? And that's what I cover in the next video. I'll show you a gentle, natural way to start calming your mind and your body without medication. Something that works surprisingly quickly because it supports your brain, your hormones, and your nervous system, all at the same time. And it's called clinical hypnotherapy. It's not the stage show stuff you might have seen on television. This is deeply relaxing. It's professionally guided and it's designed specifically for women like you going through menopause. If you've been feeling overwhelmed, anxious, or just not like yourself, this could be the relief that you've been searching for. So go ahead and watch that video next. It's right there.